Okay, we are live now on YouTube. Wow, we see people coming in. Hello, hello everyone. Hello. Very good evening.
Please increase the volume slightly.
You are having a great week. And thanks for joining us on a Wednesday evening to cook with Payal from Commune Kitchen, hosted by YoRipe. I can see a lot of people connecting to audio, switching on a webcam. Really like that. It's going to be an interactive session. So we're going to start in just 2 minutes, waiting for everyone to get their connection set up. So today we are very happy to be back with Payal after a while for the phase 2 transition. Hope everyone is adapting well to the phase 2. Payal's cooking school, the Commune Kitchen, is now reopened for different sessions. So we're very excited. But because we enjoy doing this live classes from her kitchen to your kitchen a lot, so we decided to continue and to do it once every month. And this is the first one, our return session. So very happy to see everyone. And my name is Xing Yan. I'm the founder of YoRipe. So YoRipe is a smart cooking app that gives you recipe ideas when you don't know what to cook. Lots of Asian, easy, one-pot meal, different diets, recipes as well. Or you can also get recipes based on what you have in your fridge. It comes with a smart grocery list also. So it's free. You can just download the app from App Store and Google Play Store, YoRipe. So yeah, I'm going to introduce obviously Payal, you're very familiar with, and we're going to cook 2 very interesting dishes today. Hi Payal, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Shinyang. How are you?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good too.
Are we ready to get started?
Yes, we are. I can see many cameras open. So again, this is an interactive cooking class. So you have received the ingredients beforehand. We're going to make chickpea pilaf and chicken masala. So get ready your ingredients and follow Chef Payal step by step. Otherwise, of course, you can also take notes and they will share the recipes after the class if you wish to reproduce. Any questions, just type in the chat box. I'll find a good moment to ask Payal.
Okay, shall we get started then?
Thumbs up.
Okay, all right. Hi everyone, my name is Payal. A lot of you know me already. I am the culinary director and chef at Commune Kitchen in Singapore. Like Shinyan mentioned, our physical classes have already started in our location at Downtown Gallery in Tanjong Pagar. But we decided to continue this online session just once a month because I really enjoyed doing this during the holidays, as I call them, you know, in a positive way. Today, we're going to be cooking 2 recipes that I make all the time at home. One of them is my mom's recipe of chicken masala, and we're going to pair it with a Turkish chickpea pilaf. So let's get started. We've got all the ingredients right here. If some of you have already chopped the ingredients, that's fine. It'll just be faster, but I will show you how to chop them as well. The first thing you need to do, if you haven't done it already, I did mention this in the recipe, was to take some basmati rice and soak it. Now I've taken good quality long grain basmati rice, which I got from Fair Price, and I have already rinsed it. Wait, can you face the camera here so everyone can see? Okay, you can turn it. All right, so this is the first step. You rinse your rice really well. You had to use about 260 grams of basmati rice. Rinse it really well and then soak it in plenty of water for about an hour. Basmati rice is Indian long grain rice and it's quite mature. So it's important that you soak it or it doesn't cook evenly. All right. So I've done that already. If you haven't done it, please do it now. If you've done it, give me a thumbs up so I know I can move on now.
I see thumbs up.
Okay, everyone's done it already. Very efficient. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna get ready with our chicken marinade first, because when you make chicken masala, it's very important that you marinate your meat at least for a few hours. I generally do it overnight. So if I get my chicken, say in the morning, I would marinate it in the morning and then make chicken masala in the evening, the same day. Sometimes I let it sit in the fridge overnight as well. But right now we don't have a lot of time. So we'll do it the way my grandma used to do it. We're gonna chop our garlic, ginger, chilies, get some yogurt, get some spices, and we're gonna marinate them just for as long as we have really. We don't even have an hour today. So we'll marinate it, set it aside, and we'll start prepping our ingredients. Let's do that. So get your 4 cloves of garlic ready for your marinade. You've got a knob of ginger. It's about an inch of ginger. And you've got I've got 2 green chili patties here, 2 green bird's eye chilies. If you're using red bird's eye chilies, use just 1 because those are quite spicy. Let's start with our garlic first. Okay, I'm gonna peel the garlic by pressing on it.
If I have like a chopper, those like you put in the garlic and then they just chop for you, what do you think is the difference between that or versus hand chopped garlic?
You can use a chopper by all means. If you've got a machine, why not make use of it? I personally feel that when you do things by hand, they taste better.
I see.
It's just the way all grandmas do it, and I'm a grandma when it comes to cooking. So
you see,
and I also like to pound my ingredients, so in a mortar and pestle rather than chopping them on a chopping board, especially my ginger, garlic, and chilies. I love using a mortar and pestle. So if you've got a mortar and pestle, grab that now, and perhaps we could use that because that's the traditional way of doing it. Here we go. I have my garlic done right here. I'm using my small spoon now to peel my ginger because it's really easy to peel ginger using a spoon. Okay, so finish peeling your garlic and then move on to your ginger. And if you've got a mortar and pestle, grab it now. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, it's okay. Just chop your ginger, garlic, and chilies very, very fine on your chopping board, all right? The chilies are right here. I'm just gonna roughly chop my chilies and roughly chop my other ingredients too before I place them in my mortar, because otherwise they're gonna fly everywhere because my mortar and pestle is quite small. Just roughly chop it. And if you don't have a mortar and pestle, just keep going and chop all of the 3 ingredients very, very fine, okay?
Like this is very efficient. We actually mincing, like rough chopped all 3 ingredients at one go.
Yep, yeah, you can actually do it. It's because all 3 ingredients go in anyway, so it makes sense to chop them all together. Here is my mortar.
Is there a difference we're using between red eye chili or green eye chili?
Ask me that again, please. I missed that. Your line was breaking up.
The red eye chili or the green eye chili?
Okay, so the green one is a little younger and so less spicy. The red one is more mature and it's very, very hot. So if you want a milder flavor, I like a milder flavor in my curry, which is why I use 2 green chilies instead of using 1 red one. So 2 green chilies would still be milder than 1 red chili. Yeah. I'm just gonna pound it all together. And like I said, if you don't have one of these babies, just chop away. And this is very therapeutic in my opinion, but at the same time, when you pound your herbs in a mortar using a pestle, it releases the oils from the herbs slowly and your food in general tastes better, which is why in a lot of countries in Southeast Asia, they still use mortars and pestles rather than using a machine. These are relatively easy to find here. You can get them in fair price in the Jamie Oliver section. And IKEA sells them very cheap as well. They're less than $20 at IKEA.
No. So do we, when we chop it, right, how fine do we want to chop these 3 ingredients?
Very fine. See mine, because I'm pounding it, it's getting really fine already. If you're chopping it or putting it in a machine, make sure you chop it very, very fine. Or you can even use a microplane to grate it, microplane or a grater to grate your ingredients, except the chilies. The chilies you can't put in a microplane or a grater. The chilies, just chop them fine. If you've got a grater or a microplane, use that for the garlic and the ginger. Okay, this is good, see? All right, I am going to transfer this into my chicken. Now you've got to grab your chicken. I have gotten whole chicken today, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Yes, we saw the recipe that it's recommended to get the whole chicken, so everyone gets the favorite part. So, and it's more the way of cooking too.
Yeah, it's very traditional to use whole chicken in a recipe like this. Okay, so this is what I have. I've basically used every single part of the chicken and it goes into my curry. If you get freaked out by the carcass, you know, the rib cage and all, you don't have to use it. You can set it aside and use it for stock, but I actually like the flavor and I like gnawing on bones. I actually always pick the rib cage when I'm eating chicken curry. And it's better to use chicken with bone because it has a lot more flavor. The bones impart a lot more flavor to the sauce compared to boneless chicken. So it's always a good idea to use chicken on bone when you're making chicken curry at home.
And cooking, all right, so what doesn't really affect, right? Whether you keep the chicken with the bone or without bone.
Okay, say that again.
So just saying the cooking time, it doesn't really affect for either use chicken without bones or with bones.
It's pretty much the same because I've suggested that you use chicken thighs. Chicken thighs do take a little longer to cook, which is why I suggested it in the recipe. So you either use chicken on bone, which will take about 20 to 25 minutes to cook, or you use boneless, skinless chicken thighs, which also take about 20 to 25 minutes to cook. So it won't change. Unless if you're using breast, only breast. I don't recommend using only breast in chicken curry because it doesn't impart that flavor that you need in the curry and it doesn't thicken the sauce either, which is why I highly recommend either using whole chicken or using chicken thighs, all right?
All right.
Okay, so we've got ginger garlic chilies, and if anyone's using chicken thighs, just chicken thighs in this recipe, make sure you cut them into 4 pieces. So take 1 thigh and cut it into 4 equal pieces and then start marinating it, okay?
Okay.
And the whole chicken also, I've chopped it up into pieces as you can see, all right? Right there, okay?
Okay.
So once you're done, you are going to put your ginger, garlic, and chili paste or your chopped ginger, garlic, and chilies into the chicken. If you've done that, give me a thumbs up and we'll move on to the next part.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, now grab some yogurt. I have some plain yogurt here. You can use either plain natural yogurt or you can use Greek yogurt. Get half a cup. This is about 125 ml. Take some of the plain yogurt. This is unsweetened yogurt, okay? Plain unsweetened yogurt, and put it into your chicken along with your ginger, garlic, and chilies. Let's put that yogurt away and grab the spices now.
So good to make yogurt at home and enjoy wholesome cooking like this.
Oh, making yogurt at home is easy peasy. There's nothing more to it than milk and some culture. But that is a topic for another day. All right, let's do this now. So if everyone's got the yogurt in there and the ginger, garlic, chilies, I can move on to the spices. Now, when I gave you the the list of ingredients, I also mentioned a very good spice company that you could buy spices from, the Indian Spice Box. Their spices are organic and they're absolutely fabulous. I have tried spices from a lot of places in Singapore, and theirs by far are the best. So do get them if you can get your hands on them. They are on Red Mart, and they also sell spices on their own website. All right. They call the Indian Spice Box, and they're all organic spices from Kerala in India. If everyone's ready, give me a thumbs up and we'll get started with the spices.
I think we're ready. We just have a quick question for the dairy intolerant. Do you have recommendation to replace the yogurt?
Yes, you can use coconut cream instead, or coconut yogurt.
Great tip.
Both coconut cream and coconut yogurt are easily available at cold storage, I think. Okay, we're going to get started with turmeric. I'm going to take about half a teaspoon of turmeric and put that in. Okay, once you've done that, I'm going to take about 1/4 of a teaspoon of chili powder, because I don't like my curry too hot. Okay, so 1/4 of a teaspoon. Sorry?
I'm joking. I said that's a bit unlikely of you when you don't like things too hot.
I can't take I love them. My stomach doesn't love them very much. So I try to avoid food that is too spicy. All right. So half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of garam masala in there.
Very key ingredient.
And 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Okay. I'll repeat myself again. Half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of garam masala, and 1 teaspoon of salt, sea salt. All right.
Yeah.
And now grab a large spoon and mix it all up.
Can I use my hand?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Better if you use your hands, because then you can incorporate all that ginger, garlic, chili, and spices into the chicken really well. Okay. Now, ideally, you should leave this in the fridge. So cover it and leave it in the fridge overnight, or for at least 8 hours. And you can actually forget about it for up to 48 hours in the fridge.
Wow.
But today we don't have a lot of time, so we are going to get on with it as soon as we're done prepping the ingredients. The longer you leave this in the fridge, the nicer it's going to taste. Okay.
Okay.
Because you're giving the chicken a chance to absorb all those spices.
The color is really nice, slightly like golden yellow color.
Yeah, from the turmeric, and it's really good for you too.
Exactly. Yeah, helps our build our immune system as well.
Yeah. So Indian food is all about using quality ingredients. So when I make a chicken curry, I always make sure my chicken is organic, and I try to get free range as much as I can. It's hard in Singapore, but if I can get my hands on free range chicken, I'd rather use that. Second thing you need to remember is use very, very good quality spices and fresh spices. If you've got your grandma's spices sitting in the kitchen pantry, get rid of them, because they probably have no flavor left in them.
Yeah,
spices.
Yeah, so humid here.
Yeah, it's too humid, and your spices won't last for longer than 3 months if you leave them out in the humidity here in Singapore. In fact, most of the time they get weevils in them, little critters. And I always store them in the fridge. Now this, I'm just going to set it aside. I'm not putting it in the fridge right now. I'll just set it aside on my countertop, and I'll go back to it later.
So we have done that of marinating the chicken.
Yeah, the first step's done.
Yay.
And as I was saying, all about using good quality ingredients. Use very good quality spices when you're cooking Indian food, and make sure they're fresh. They haven't been sitting on the counter for too long. Keep them in the fridge as much as you can. And the next thing you need to remember is using good quality vegetables. Primarily, So Indian curries are primarily made, especially northern Indian curries are primarily made from onions, tomatoes, garlic, ginger, and chilies. These are the main ingredients in an Indian curry sauce, all right? And then you've got the spices that I showed you earlier. We'll be using the same spices again. Now is the time to get these nicely chopped. I have about 150 grams of onions, red onions, and I'm gonna start by peeling them. Can you point the camera here, Preet? Thank you.
Payal, I think this is probably the first time that you teach an Indian dish.
Yes.
Online.
How ironic is that?
Well, you know so many cuisines, so finally, Indian food, yeah, it's getting its limelight today.
I'll tell you something about, since you've mentioned it, I'll expand on this a little bit. When I was in China, I lived in China for many, many years. And I ran commune kitchen in China as well. And when I did, during my 5 years of running commune kitchen in Shanghai, I only ever taught Southeast Asian cuisine. I did not ever teach any Chinese food at all.
Wow.
And moving to Singapore, I had to stop teaching Indian and Southeast Asian food because there wasn't enough demand, and I had to completely switch to Chinese food, to teaching Chinese food. And today our most popular classes are dumplings. We teach dumplings and xiaolongbao and baozi, and that is what sells here. But during my time in China, I never ever taught any Chinese food at all. It's been the opposite. All right, onions have been peeled already, and I am going to simply chop them very, very fine. Do what you're comfortable with. Okay, I'm slicing them first, and then I'll start chopping them. If you've got a machine, if you've got a chopper or a food processor, by all means use that. I'm just going to use my chopping board. Again, I find chopping very therapeutic too. And chop it very, very fine. And use any method you're comfortable with, really. There is no right or wrong here. You can use a big knife and, you know, use a rocking motion like I am to chop your onion fine. Or you can use a small knife, which I'm not used to, but I'll show it to you anyway. So when you use a big knife, you start by slicing very thin slices. You halve your onion first, and then you slice it thinly. And once you've done that, you chop it further.
Chopping two onions, are those both the onions for chicken masala? Or
yes, they are. They are. So you need 150 grams of onions for the chicken masala. And by 150 grams, I mean 150 grams of onion flesh after you peel them, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
and if you
a lot. Like it's only one onion, but it looks a lot on the chopping.
well, it's actually small. It's quite small, my onion. In China, the onions are quite large. And so one would suffice. Even in Australia, the onions are quite big. Australia, US onions are quite big. So one would suffice. But here in Singapore, these are small. I think these are Indian onions. In general, Indian vegetables are quite small.
Okay.
Okay, once you're done chopping your onion, we're gonna move on to chopping your ginger, garlic, and chilies like we did earlier. Again, I am using green chili padi. If you're using red chili padi, use only one because those are quite spicy, like I mentioned earlier. And if you've got a mortar and pestle, pound your ginger, garlic, chilies in the mortar and pestle, all right?
Hi, quick question. Can we use white fish as the protein in this dish?
In this recipe?
Yes.
Okay. So in my opinion, this amount of onion for a fish sauce, not such a good idea. If you've got fish handy right now, and if you're trying to do this recipe with fish right now, reduce the amount of onion to half. Okay, so use only 75 grams of onion, but the same amount of everything else that I've given you in the recipe. All right?
Great, very clear. Thanks, Payal.
Yeah, okay. And I always finish my fish off with a little bit of coconut milk or coconut cream. So just a touch of coconut milk or coconut cream in the end enhances the flavor of fish.
That sounds like a good tip.
Yeah, and you also don't marinate the fish. I never marinate my fish with that many spices or yogurt, ginger, garlic, chilies. With fish, I simply just put a little bit of salt, a bit of turmeric, a little bit of chili, and then set it aside for 15 minutes. And then I slide it into the sauce, cook it for another 5 to 7 minutes until the fish is tender. That's it. It's very simple. Yeah. Whereas with chicken, we cook it for way longer. So the recipe might be very different. But we'll try to do it some other day. We'll do a fish curry class. And
good idea.
Yeah, keep that for another day because there's so much local fish here and it's so amazing. There's some beautiful variety of fish here in the markets. All right, I've got my mortar and pestle out again, and I am going to get started with my garlic. So, Preet, can you point it to this here so we can see? All right, so garlic right there. I'll just start putting it straight into my mortar. Flatten it, peel it into the mortar. I know a lot of people have already prepped and are waiting for me to get started with the curry. Thank you for being patient. Okay, one more thing I need to know is whether or not you are using a rice cooker for making your rice today. You're using a rice cooker? If you're using a rice cooker, give me a thumbs up now.
I see one.
Okay,
two,
so let's just,
yeah.
Okay, so just two, yeah. And do we have a lot of people cooking with us today?
We have over 20 people.
Okay, all right, so I have garlic here. I have ginger here.
Oh,
and I have my chilies. I am going to chop my chilies roughly as well. Place them in my mortar and pestle, and I'm going to start pounding. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, simply use your chopping board like you did earlier, or use a microplane to grate your ginger and garlic and your chopping board to chop. Okay, I'm just going to place this underneath here and pound away. Yeah, I was saying the rice. Yeah, if most people are just going to be using a saucepan today, let's just stick to the saucepan. I'll use a saucepan as well. Okay.
So maybe you can please describe the difference in terms of amount of water that we need for the basmati rice in the rice cooker versus in a saucepan.
Yes, so in a rice cooker you actually need less water when you're cooking basmati rice or any rice for that matter. And if you're used to using a rice cooker, you should know that the amount of water that you need is not double like it is when you cook in a saucepan. When I make jasmine rice in my rice cooker, I use the ratio of 1:1. But when I make jasmine rice in a pot, in a saucepan, I use the ratio of 1:1.5 cups of water. With basmati rice, it's 1:1.5 cups of water in the rice cooker and 1:2 cups of water if you do it in a saucepan. It's double if you do it in the saucepan, but we'll talk about that later. Now that I know, we're just going to be using the saucepan. All right. I will give very clear instructions later on so nobody gets confused. I don't want to confuse people right now because right now we're still on the chicken curry. Now, if you're done pounding or chopping your ginger, garlic, and chilies, give me a thumbs up so I can move on to the next bit. Because I am done. Are you there, Shinyan?
Yes, I'm watching very attentively and imagining the aroma from the.
Okay, your line keeps breaking up in between. I don't know why.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, this is fine. All right, so we've got our onion chopped up. We've got our ginger garlic chilies, either chopped up or pounded. And if you're done, give me a thumbs up. We are going to move on to the tomatoes. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thumbs up.
So for the tomatoes, you can either puree them in your food processor or chop them into small cubes. I have a box grater, and it's actually very easy to puree tomatoes with a box grater. So I'm just going to grab that. Okay. All right, this is a box grater, and this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the big holes here to grate my tomatoes and get all that juice out. Very easy to do. Just make sure you don't cut yourself when you're doing this and, grate a finger in there.
Yes, I remember using one of those and it's not potatoes, yeah, because it's very smooth and it can go pretty fast.
They are very sharp, yeah. Okay, when you do this, what happens is you don't get any peel in there. See? The peel's intact and you can get rid of it. And you only have juices in there.
It's freshly homemade tomato puree.
Yeah, your line's breaking up again.
I just say it's fresh, homemade tomato puree.
Yep. Yeah, and with Indian food, we never ever use canned tomatoes. Canned tomatoes in Indian food is more of a British thing. They do it in the UK, but in India, they always use fresh tomatoes. They grow a lot of Roma tomatoes locally in India, and they're beautiful. They're juicy and sweet and sour. They're gorgeous tomatoes because it's a tropical country, and so they do have tomatoes all year long. And I try to get mine from the wet market, where they're quite good quality. I know they're not as good as they are in the Mediterranean or in India, but fresh tomatoes are key to a good curry. All right, so you take between 350 grams to 400 grams of tomatoes. That's all you need. All right, and you grate them all right here. See that? That's my tomato puree done.
Yes.
Okay, and if you're ready now, we can get started with the cooking process. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Actually, let's finish. Yeah, let's finish cooking first, and then move on to prepping for the rice later on, because the chicken curry will actually take some time as well to cook. All right. We're going to move on to the stove top here and start cooking now. So Preet, if you can move the camera over here, we will get started with the cooking process. All right, so I'm going to do this in a wok. I have a heavy base wok that I'm using. This is quite heavy. If you don't have a heavy base wok, you could simply use a Dutch oven, or a heavy base saucepan would work too. Start on medium to high flame and either get some coconut oil or olive oil or ghee ready. You can use either one of those things. Please, can we bring the camera a little bit closer? There we go. All right, make sure your pan is nice and hot before you get started. If you're not familiar with ghee, I will quickly show you what it looks like. I am not promoting any brands here, but I use a brand called QBB, which is great. They sell pure cow's ghee from Australia. And you could either use this. If you're dairy free, don't use ghee, because ghee is made from cow's milk. I am going to be using it because it actually tastes pretty good in curry. We're taking about 3 tablespoons of ghee in here, or you could use olive oil or coconut oil like I mentioned, or any vegetable oil would do too. And this is a very basic Indian curry, and you could use this for any meat you want. You could use this to make chicken, you could use this for beef, lamb, pork, not fish though, okay? And
yeah,
just the cooking time. The cooking time
becomes transparent.
The cooking time varies though. So if you're doing this with red meats, with pork, lamb, or beef, you need to make sure you let your meat cook for longer, about 2 hours of slow cooking until it's super tender. Whereas with chicken, it only requires 20 to 25 minutes. Now that my oil or my ghee is hot, I'm going to get started with some cumin seeds. So grab your cumin seeds now and add about a tablespoon of cumin seeds in there.
Wow.
Okay. Let them splutter and let them brown a little. Yeah. Can you see them pop a little? Yeah. And you can smell them soon. You will be able to smell them immediately as soon as they start to pop.
Payal, can we use ground cumin here if we don't have the whole cumin?
Can you use, no, you cannot use ground cumin because ground cumin is way stronger than cumin seeds and it will burn. Okay, so just skip it in the recipe. If you don't have cumin seeds, just skip it. Once your cumin starts to brown, add your onion. Okay, if you don't have cumin seeds, just skip it for now. And you can add cumin powder later on when we add the rest of the spices, okay? But not a tablespoon of cumin powder. The cumin powder is way stronger than cumin seeds. It's way more concentrated. Okay. Now I've added my onion already.
Yes. How does it smell now in the kitchen?
I could not hear that, sorry.
How does it smell in the kitchen now?
It smells like onions, not pleasant. Okay, once you've added the onion, just let it soften a little bit.
Yeah, it completely absorbs the ghee.
Yeah, it looks like it does, yeah, in the beginning because it's really finely chopped.
Yes.
But don't worry, it'll come back. It'll come back soon. It always does. See, the camera is shaking a lot. Keep it steady, okay? Are you trying to put it here? Okay. All right, we're just trying to bring the camera close. So be patient with us for just a moment.
It's rising, it's like, ooh, going up.
Okay, there.
I think we can tilt a bit to see the wall.
There.
Yay,
okay.
We're getting a good angle.
All right, so once you've given your onion about 2 minutes and it's starting to get translucent, add your ginger, your garlic and chilies in there. All the stuff that you pounded or chopped. Ginger, garlic, and chilies, okay? So what we're doing now is browning your onion along with your ginger, garlic, and chilies. You have to give this about 10 to 12 minutes until your onion is nicely brown. This is step 1 to making any curry.
Okay.
I
feel we always have onions in the curry. I don't know why.
Yeah, there is almost always onions in curry, except fish curry. There isn't always onions in fish curry. They use a lot more ginger, garlic, and chilies in fish curry, tomatoes and coconut milk rather than onion. But again, it depends on the family. You know, curry. There's so many different kinds of curries in India. People use it as a generic term. It's not a generic term. There's so many different kinds. Even families make the same curry differently, depending on their preference. This is on medium to high heat, which is why it's browning so quickly. You If you want to slow down the cooking process, you can reduce the heat slightly. I bet some of you are coughing, like my cameraman here is coughing right now, sneezing right now from the chili. I can't turn my exhaust on right now because you won't be able to hear anything. But if you're doing this at home, turn your exhaust on so you don't sneeze or cough and die from chili fumes, and then blame me for it.
Well, I kind of missed this. I haven't cooked for a week already.
You haven't cooked for a week, did you say?
Yeah, I know, it's so long.
Come on, you own a cooking app.
Exactly. I'm working so much on the app. I haven't got a chance to cook.
I get you. I mean, if I didn't have my wonderful helper, I wouldn't cook every day. I mean, I love to cook and I cook every single day, but I need her. I need her to help me with the prep and I need her to help me with the dishes or I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky. So my colleague and my flatmate, Gabrielle, she cooks. So she made soup last night. So I still get to enjoy soup.
Oh, Gabby, come live with me. I have a spare room now. I'll keep you. I have 3 spare rooms now. You can come live with me.
No. Okay, then maybe I'll drop by for dinner. Both of you are there. I know where to go.
Does she cook French food or what does she cook?
She cooked Gab's food.
Gab's food.
Yeah,
okay.
In our app, we have a section called Eat Clean. It's basically Gab's food.
Cool. And all right, so see how the onions starting to brown already? Yeah, I hope that's happening with you all as well. Give me a thumbs up if your onions started to brown already.
Yes, we see thumbs up.
Yes, okay, awesome. Get your tomatoes so it doesn't burn. Immediately, as soon as it's browned, add your tomatoes because you don't want to burn your onions. Okay, once you've added your tomatoes, reduce the heat slightly, keep it on medium.
Okay, reduce the heat slightly.
Yeah, put it on medium and I'm scared my camera is going to be stained with curry because I've got lots of oil splattering everywhere. Now, bring over the spices that were in the recipe, okay?
We're going to add the spices now.
Okay, so we've got all of these spices here. Bring some coriander. This is coriander. Gonna take a tablespoon of coriander and put that in. 1 tablespoon of coriander, not coriander leaves, ground coriander, okay?
Okay.
Coriander powder. You're gonna take a 1/4 teaspoon of chili. If you don't like chili, you can skip it completely. So 1 tablespoon of coriander for flavor, a 1/4 teaspoon of chili for heat, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric for its goodness. Yeah. And finally, a teaspoon of salt, sea salt. A good teaspoon of sea salt. Give it a stir, 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 stir. And if you didn't add, now this is for people who did not add cumin seeds in the beginning, yeah? If you don't have cumin seeds and have cumin powder instead, take 1/2 teaspoon of cumin powder and you can add that now. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. And you'll see the spices, they start releasing their oils immediately. The curry kind of the sauce starts to get shiny. See along the walls of my wok? The walls of my wok is starting to get shiny and my sauce is not sticking to the pan anymore. Yeah. My tomatoes are, that means your spices have started releasing their oils. Okay.
Okay.
And now's the time to add your chicken, all of it.
Yay.
Okay. And we're going to give it a stir. And we're going to give it a stir again. And my heat is still on medium. Now my gas stove is very high. So in some cases, my medium would actually be your medium to high. All right. Okay, give it a stir and spread it out. So then all that sauce, all that good sauce covers all your chicken.
Mm.
Okay. And spread it out. Spread out your chicken because what I'm trying to do is color my chicken now,
Okay.
basically. Okay. It's still very raw, very pink. I have to give it a good 8 to 10 minutes of cooking now. So it changes color and it's no longer pink. All right.
The spice paste coats the chicken really well.
Yep. Basically, you are coloring the chicken now, and you do this with every meat except fish.
Okay.
All right.
So
You don't ever do this with fish because fish starts to fall apart. It's a delicate meat, and so whenever we make fish, we never ever do this step. We basically just cook the sauce, add water or stock to the sauce. Once the sauce is done, then we slide in the fish very gently so it doesn't fall apart. And then we basically just cook it in the sauce until it's done for about 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, so stir this, spread it out and leave it for a couple of minutes and then stir it again after 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Because it's a lot of chicken, what we're doing here is coloring the base and then stirring it again, all right? And while this is cooking, get ready with some stock or with some water. You can use either chicken stock or water. So we'll use some stock, which I have here. I'm using 1 cup of stock, not all of it, and not yet, okay? I just have it ready.
Yes, you want to wait until the chicken is properly colored.
Yeah, we're waiting until my chicken is nicely colored.
They release some water too, I see, as we cook.
Yes, the chicken's gonna start releasing some water now, and it will release even more water later when we cover it. Now, while this is coloring, what you can do is prep for your rice in the meantime. The onion that you have, you will need about 250 grams of onion for your rice recipe, which we need to slice. So if you think that you need more time to chop, you can start by peeling the onion and slicing it. If you think you can keep up with my speed, I'm trying to go very slow. If you can keep up, that's fine. You can wait it out. Okay, we'll finish the chicken first and then we'll move on to the rice recipe.
Great. So if
okay, see it's already starting to change color.
So if you have any
turning,
questions, you can, it's on YouTube, you can ask.
Yeah, and if the smells are making you very hungry, grab a snack. I'm getting hungry now from the smell. Or grab a glass of
watching.
or grab a glass of wine.
Thank you, Brit. It's best color. We love yellow.
Or get a glass of wine. Making curry is all about patience. The smells are irresistible and they make you really hungry while you're making it.
I love the tagline. Curry is all about patience.
Yep, it is. It really is. And your tummy is going to start rumbling while you're making it from the smells. Mine is. See, I've used every single part of the chicken in here. And that's the beauty of it. I've got my wings, I've got my ribs. Some people get freaked out by this, but I have the chicken's neck as well in there. I think the only part that's missing is the head and the feet. But I've got everything else in there. See, it's changed color already. It's nice and it's no longer pink and most of it is already white. Can you see that? Or yellowish?
Yes.
Yeah. And yours should be too. And you'll also see oil formation or ghee forming along the walls of the pan again, like it did earlier. See the shiny bits along the wall? You see the spices and the chicken start to release their oils again. Okay, you need to stop doing that with
Great
your
progress
banana.
on the banana plate.
Okay, don't keep stirring it constantly. Stir, spread it out, let it color, and wait patiently for a couple of minutes.
Payal, we have a question here. I think we touched upon earlier, but maybe we could explain a bit more. Does chicken breast cook faster than chicken thigh?
It does. It does. But in this case here, in the curry, because we stew it for 20 to 25 minutes, your chicken won't dry out because it's got tons of sauce in it. So when you're making curry, it really doesn't matter. I was just saying that when you're making curry, remember to either use a mix of both chicken thighs and breast, or just thighs. Don't use just breast because your curry is not going to have flavor and the thickness that you want in it. Okay?
Okay.
In my case, I'm doing both breast and thighs because it's a whole chicken. All right, this is looking good. See, the chicken's no longer pink. I'm gonna get a cup ready, one cup ready, so about 2.
If you don't have chicken stock, you can also use water.
Yeah, if you don't have stock, just do water. Water works too. Okay, I'm gonna get 1 cup, just 1 cup. Okay, I'm not using all of it. I need to save some for my rice later on. So 1 cup of stock in there, or water is fine too. And let it come to a boil. Just give it a stir. Let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, reduce heat to low and let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes until your chicken is fully done, okay?
Okay.
And if your gas stove has very low flame, just make sure that you can see the curry bubbling at all times, okay? So increase the heat if it's very, very low. Mine isn't very low and my curry still bubbles when I put it on low heat. I'll show you. Now this is on high heat right now and it's bubbling away, as you can see, yes?
Yes.
All my pieces are under water or under the sauce, covered in sauce. Reduce the heat now. And as you can see, even though the heat is on low here,
yes,
yeah, it's still bubbling away, yeah? And you need that, okay? I'm gonna get a lid and I am going to cover this for about 20 to 25 minutes and let the steam do its job, basically to cook the chicken, all right?
All right.
And we're gonna move on to prepping our rice now, okay?
Can we see everyone? How's everyone doing? Chicken is being simmered. Yay, see thumbs up, thank you.
Okay, thumbs up?
Yes.
Awesome.
Just quick time check at 6:55 now.
Okay.
I think we really enjoyed the cooking process, so we've been explaining it step by step. So now the chicken's being cooked, we can make use of the time to prepare for the pilaf.
Yep, and hopefully the pilaf will be done on time too. All right, I've got 2 onions, 2 red onions, about 250 grams after I've peeled them. That's what you need, okay? So I'm gonna start by peeling my onions and then I'll slice them.
I love really these 2 recipes together because if you buy a bag of onion, you can really use both of it already. Like they're common ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I was little, my mother used to make chicken masala with either chapatis or she would make it with something called pulav. Pulao is the Indian version of pilaf. So it's got lots of onions in it, it's got spices in it, it's got cumin in it, and lots of whole cardamom, cinnamon, bay leaves, and things like that.
Yes,
I think India's version of pulao was adapted from Middle Eastern pilaf.
Yes.
And what we're doing today is actually pilaf.
Great to know. So yes, we're doing the Middle Eastern version.
Yep. And I love making this because my daughter is vegan. And so when we have chicken curry, she at least has something to eat. And I don't have to worry about cooking a third dish. All right, so we've got onions right here, and I'm gonna start by slicing my onions thinly. So halve your onion and then start slicing. Thinly, very thin, okay? Okay, that's done. One more. And like I said, you need a total of 250 grams.
Yeah, when I saw the recipe, it's chickpea pilaf, I thought it was really interesting. Because makes me think of another dish, which is like Moroccan dish, like tagine.
Yes, yes.
With couscous,
And
also with chickpea.
pilaf is actually fantastic with tagine. And it's on my website. So if you go for the recipe later on, the recipe is on the website, and Gabriella or Shinyan will be sending you the links later on for the recipe. I have actually paired this pilaf recipe with my chicken tagine recipe, which is also on the website. So if you want to make the two together, they are so fabulous together. And we actually have a class that we teach at Commune Kitchen where we do chicken tagine with chickpea pilaf and Greek saragli, which is baklava.
Wow, that makes a.
And it's a very, very popular class that we do.
Feast for a king.
Sorry?
It's feast for a king.
Yeah, didn't get that. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. All right, so we're doing the garlic now. Your line keeps breaking up, like I said, Chinyang. So sometimes I can't hear you at all. Okay, so I've got 2 cloves of garlic right here, and I am going to chop these very fine, or you can put them in your mortar and pestle. So I've done my onion already. And now I'm moving on to my 2 cloves of garlic, and I simply have to chop these finely. Here we go. All right, the other ingredients I have here are some butter, about 40 grams of butter. I have 1 can of chickpeas for this recipe, and I have some black pepper. This is done. Our rice has been soaking already. Okay, and since we are going to be cooking this in the saucepan, you need to make sure you have double the volume of rice that you started with. So we started with 260 grams of long grain basmati rice, and you would need about 720 ml of water or chicken stock for that. So measure that and have it ready, because we're doing this in a saucepan. Okay, that's my measuring cup, and I'm getting 720 ml of stock ready.
So this really goes with the amount of rice that we have.
I am blind. There. Okay. I am actually blind at night. There.
Oh, Payal, can you share with us how do you prepare the stock?
How do I what? Sorry, missed it again. I'm going deaf as well.
No, it's how do you prepare the stock?
Okay, stock is very easy. I didn't make it from scratch, I'll be honest. Today I just got stock cube from my fridge and I made it, I just mixed it with water. But if you can find the time, collect chicken carcass in a bag. So every time you buy chicken, I usually get whole chicken from the market. I get the thighs, the wings, and the breast out, and I save the carcass in my freezer for another day. So once I have 2 to 3 carcasses together, I brown them in a little bit of oil, add some mirepoix, which is a mix of onion, some garlic, some carrots and celery, and brown the vegetables a little bit. And then I add water, some bay leaves, black pepper, and then I just cook it down for about 45 minutes until the color looks like this.
Okay.
And then I put it away in the freezer for another day. Yeah, pretty standard. Shall we get started now? Everyone ready?
Ready? Let's start to cook the rice. Yes.
Okay, cool. Have your can of chickpeas ready. Open the can and drain the water out. Okay, you don't need the water.
You can also, keep it on the side if you want to make it using the aquafaba.
Yeah, you don't need the extra water. If you want to use it for another recipe, by all means, keep it. I like my traditional meringue, so I use eggs for it. All right, this is done. Okay, we're gonna move on and get started with our rice now. Get a saucepan ready, and the camera can come inside now.
Now the chicken is
Okie dokie. The chicken's good. If you want to have a look at your chicken and give it a stir, you can, but it should be all right. Grab a saucepan. I have mine. Put it on medium heat. And if you want to have a look at your chicken, just to make sure it's not burning, you can have a look at it now. It won't burn because it's got tons of sauce in it, and it's on very low heat. So it just has a lot of sauce in there. See that?
Yes. The water level actually didn't go down because the
water level's actually gone up. It's gone up because of all the juices in the chicken, right? So just give it a stir and make sure your chicken is submerged in the sauce so it cooks evenly, all right? And then keep it covered. We'll continue to cook this while we're...
So far, so let's keep it cooking.
Yep, that can cook for as long as you have, not a problem if it cooks for longer than 20-25 minutes. Okay, get some olive oil, okay? Take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in your saucepan. Please, can you bring the camera a little closer so we can all see? Okay.
What heat, low or medium?
Medium heat. It's on medium heat right now. And then get your sliced onion and put it in your olive oil.
And if you use rice cooker, do we do the same steps now?
No, you do it in the saucepan first.
Okay.
Your rice cooker is not going to brown the onion, okay?
Okay. Well, yeah, I know. Rice cooker sounds amazing, but I still think that,
you still have to do this step in the saucepan. So just follow me and do what I'm doing. Use a saucepan and brown your onion nicely, okay?
Yes.
Break those bits of onion if they're stuck together. Now, if you want to do an Indian pilaf, which is called a pulao, that recipe is also on the website on communekitchen.com. We've got tons of recipes, especially vegetarian and vegan recipes. And all you have to do, if you have trouble finding any, just go on the main page, communekitchen.com, and either go on the recipes tab, which is right on top, or you can type the recipe that you're looking for in the search bar, and you'll get lots of different options. All the recipes are categorized. We've got chicken recipes, we've got vegan, vegetarian, fish, we've got eggs. So everything is categorized on there under the recipes tab. And lots of free resources. And if you still have trouble cooking, come and see me at Commune Kitchen.
Yes, definitely. I want to learn the dumpling.
Or you've got to come and attend the dumpling session.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
We've got a few. We've got our traditional dumpling session, which is, traditional Chinese dumplings that the Chinese eat on a daily basis. We do chicken. We do shrimp, and we do vegetarian in that class. And then we do a xiaolongbao class. We do 2 xiaolongbao classes actually. One is pork-based, which is traditional Shanghainese xiaolongbao. And then we do a halal recipe that is completely our recipe. We do a halal xiaolongbao class, which is chicken xiaolongbao. And that's amazing. I actually like that class more than my pork xiaolongbao class.
Okay. Yeah, we just sent, Gabriel just sent the recipe links on the Zoom chat.
Cool.
Copy and save that for this weekend's meal.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna brown, we'll continue browning the onion on medium flame.
I think it's really fun to cook like pilaf, pulao, like biryani, because yeah, otherwise eating white rice every day really gets boring.
It does actually get boring. And this recipe is a full meal by itself. You don't really need the chicken curry to go with it because it's got protein in it. It's got protein from the chickpeas in it. It's got flavor from the chicken stock. You can simply serve it with some yogurt on the side, a boiled egg maybe on every plate, and papadums.
Great to know. Agree. And even like for a quick lunch, if we are working, going back to the office, that's a great lunchbox idea as well.
It is, absolutely. I often make this for my husband's lunch. He takes it to work. And I also do a spinach version of this. So I make a pulao that's made from onions, tomatoes, and spinach. And I've just posted the recipe for that today on the website, and I shared a video as well on Instagram and Facebook.
Great, another variation.
Yeah, and that's another beautiful recipe with spinach. It's very healthy. It has like 500 grams of spinach in it and it serves 4 to 5 people. It's got your 5 nutrients already for the day. Your 5 vegetables already for the day in that recipe, in one recipe.
Too.
And it's a 1-pot dish. Okay, so continue to brown the onion. Be patient with it. Again, making pilaf is also all about patience. So don't rush those onions. Keep stirring them every 20 to 30 seconds or so. That way they will brown faster because you're giving them time. You're giving time for the heat to build up at the bottom, rather than stirring it constantly, where you don't give the onions time to brown at the bottom. I can smell the caramelization now from the onions. Yeah, if you wish to follow us on Instagram or Facebook, our tag is Commune Kitchen SG. And I post 2 recipes every week online, and I try to post a video as well, a YouTube video every Wednesday to share a new easy recipe. And I know a lot of you already have my cookbook, and these recipes are actually quite new, the ones that I show you and share with you now. So they're not in the cookbook. The cookbook is completely different, and it has a lot of different recipes from Southeast Asia as well. Okay, the onion's starting to brown now, as you can see, slowly. And we will continue to brown it. And my chicken's steaming away as well, as you can see over there. I can see steam rising. And you should have that too. Right, here we go. Almost there.
I think even cooking the onion requires patience.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want to burn it. You don't want to go too quickly.
Yep. You have to stir it more often once it starts to brown. See, I've reduced the resting time to about 7 to 10 seconds now because it's starting to burn at the bottom. So once it starts to brown, you've got to stir quite quickly after. In the beginning, you stir every 20 to 30 seconds. But once it starts to brown, it takes on color pretty quickly. And once it does, it's time to add all of your other ingredients. So get your rice ready, get your stock ready, your 720 ml of stock. And I would recommend, if you're doing this now, just you do it in a saucepan. Don't use your rice cooker. If you're using your rice cooker, you do not need 720 ml of stock. You need 560 ml. Remember that, okay? Shinyan, can you repeat that and remind them, please?
Yes, we'll remind them.
Yeah, so if you're using your rice cooker, you need only 560 ml of stock. If you're doing what I'm doing and making the recipe in the saucepan, you need 720 ml of stock, twice the amount of your rice. All right, my onion is nice and brown. Get your rice. Now you're not going to add the water in the rice. You need to make sure you drain your rice. So I'm going to do that now.
Yes, must drain rice.
Yes, drain your rice. Don't add. And don't let your onion burn while you're draining your rice. Reduce the heat. Don't let your onion burn and turn black. So reduce the heat on the rice, on the onion actually. Reduce the heat on the onion and then drain your rice. There we go. Done. I'm done with mine. You don't need the soaking water at all. You're going to place all that rice into your onion, your browned onion. And immediately add your stock because your onion is starting to burn. Your 720 ml of stock goes in. Okay, I have about 40 grams of butter here. Okay, so add your rice, add your stock, add your 40 grams of butter in there. Yummy. Sorry, Preet. Chickpeas go in. So basically everything else that was on the recipe list. Okay. Butter, chickpeas, rice, the list, the ingredients list that I had given. So you've got your rice in there, you've got your butter in there, you've got chickpeas in there, you've got stock in there. You're going to add some black pepper in there, about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Okay, a good grind of black pepper. If you want to add more, by all means, add a bit more. Okay, and increase your heat.
Quick question: if we don't, what is the dairy-free replacement for butter in this case?
Just don't add anything. Just skip the butter. Yeah. And finally, a teaspoon of salt in there. Now increase the heat back to medium now. Let it come to a boil. And if you're doing this in the rice cooker, you can transfer everything in the rice cooker and switch it on. I'm just going to let this come to a boil now. On medium to high heat. And once it does, I'm going to reduce the heat and cover it for about 15 to 20 minutes until my rice is fully cooked. All right. And we need to bring it to a boil first. It's got everything in it already. All spices are in there. It didn't exactly have any spices, just salt, stock, butter, chickpeas, and onions, and a tiny bit of pepper.
Yeah, this made me think of also like desserts and what to eat it can go well with like meal. You mentioned like baklava.
Did you say you wanted to eat baklava, Shinyan?
Because you mentioned, because now we have the rice and the chicken. I'm thinking about a dessert.
Yeah, okay. Baklava takes time to make. Again, baklava is all about patience.
Mm.
I'm just gonna, so if you were to do the Indian version of this, which is pulao, you would add some garam masala to this right about now.
Mm.
So if you wanna make this Indian, you can add garam masala now. Like a half a teaspoon or so would be enough. Just letting this come to a boil. And I believe all of you are too. Let me see on my screen. Okay, show me people what you're doing. Okay, my pilaf is coming to a boil, as you can see. Bring it to a hard boil. And once it does come to a boil, grab a lid with no holes in it for steam to escape. So grab a lid that covers your rice completely without any holes in it. I'm trying to find one.
In the meantime, I'll just quickly show, I think, the latest, some of the collections we have in our app. So,
Sure.
YoRipe, yes, thank you, Payal. So we launched our new app a few weeks ago, and it has really a lot of new designs to help you get inspiration. When you don't know what to cook, you just browse by the different recommendations. And of course, you have also top collections. So like you can even cook with microwave, kids' favorites, definitely one pot meal, 5 ingredients or less, date night, spicy food, Netflix marathon, things to lose weight. So all these are recipes, best chicken recipe if you don't know what to do with your favorite ingredients, and you will find all this yummy chicken new ideas. And of course,
Okay.
what's very convenient is that you can save the recipe, you can find the steps, you can even adjust the servings and make a grocery list from it. So
can I interrupt for a moment, Shinyang?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the water's come to a boil. It's come to a hard boil, as you can see. I'm going to reduce the heat now and cover it. Okay. Make sure it's completely covered like I've shown you. So no steam escaping. And we're going to forget about this for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll go back to it in 15 minutes and check on it. Okay. And in the meantime, what we can do is finish off our chicken. All right. So I've got some coriander. Did you want to continue first? You can continue telling them about the app and then we can finish it off in a minute.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to share with you also a bit more like on the watch is all video, as well as you get like baking, desserts, and also by diets and allergies if you're looking to follow some interesting diets, and also to cook with just like microwave or oven or air fryer. You can find all the recipes, a lot of inspirations, and also you have like top categories if you want to just go by meals. So it's really, we are here so that you won't feel bored for the food and makes planning your meals very easy.
Okay. All done?
Yes.
You sure? Okay, all right. So our rice is cooking, our chicken's right there cooking as well, simmering away. We're just gonna chop some coriander while we're waiting for the rice and the chicken to be done, okay? So get some coriander leaves and wash them, have them ready. I have some coriander right here, and I am simply going to get rid of the root like this. This is for my chicken curry. And just gonna roughly chop it.
It's really cute that you put the coriander, the roots in a glass of water.
Yeah, because here in Singapore, because of the weather, it wilts very easily.
See.
Yeah, it looks like me after 10 minutes of sitting outside.
Like Ola.
Which is why I need to make sure it has plenty of water. And I do that with a lot of herbs. I do that with basil as well. If I have to leave it out for a recipe, I just dunk the root under some water or the stem at the bottom under some water and it stays fresh. Okay, that's ready. Let's move over and have a look at our chicken and finish it off. Finish it off with some coriander and some garam masala, shall we? And we'll also check for salt. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, lots of sauce. Your curry should look like this too. You should have some oil surfacing on top. This is the oil that we started with, and also the oils from the chicken. All right, the chicken has shrunk, as you can see. There's tons of sauce in there, which is good. Now always taste. So grab a spoon. Grab a spoon and get some sauce from the bottom. I'm just doing a quick taste test.
Yes,
For
taste
salt. It's enough salt for me. So I'm not going to add any more. If you think you need more salt or you want your curry to be a bit more spicy, you can add some chili now. Chili powder, okay? If you want it more spicy, if you think it's just enough, just leave it as is, like I am. I'm just going to leave it because I think it's perfectly spicy.
Great. How's everyone's curry? Feel free to unmute and share with us how the taste test is going.
Okay, finally, last but not the least, we have some garam masala. Garam masala is always added towards the end, and I will tell you why in a moment. Okay, so get about 3/4 of a teaspoon of garam masala and put that in now. Okay. And while we're waiting for the rice to cook, I will tell you a story about garam masala to keep you entertained. You've got your garam masala in there, and you're going to scrape all that coriander that you just chopped in there as well. Okay, that's done. Give it a stir. Taste your curry one more time. Make sure it's got enough salt, it's got enough heat in it to your liking. And you can turn the heat off now. This is ready to serve. Okay. And this can be served with white rice, with pilaf, with chapatis, or with bread when you don't feel like making rice. It's great with crusty French baguette. It's my favorite way to mop up the sauce, a good crusty French baguette. All right, that's done. I'm going to turn the gas off now and keep this covered while my rice is getting ready. And we will talk about garam masala, and we'll also take questions now if you have them. If you've got questions, ask away. In the meantime, I am going to talk about garam masala. So garam masala is a mix of 12 to 15 different spices, depending on which state it's made in, or even family. The recipe varies from family to family as well. It's basically a mix of cumin seeds, caraway seeds, bay leaves, black cardamom, green cardamom, black pepper, and a few other spices. Okay, and the spices are basically, these whole spices are basically toasted first, and then they're ground into a powder. And because they're very warm spices, it's always a good idea to add it towards the end because they can be very overpowering. All right. If you add them to your curry in the beginning, like we did with the coriander and the turmeric, the taste of your curry becomes very overpowering. I've noticed that in Singapore, especially with Malay food, Malay Indian food is quite strong in flavor, whereas Indian food has clean flavors. I think that is one of the differences between the two, where they add garam masala in the beginning and make it super strong. And they also add a lot more spices compared to Indian food. When you eat Malay food, they have a ton of spices in there, whereas when you eat proper Indian food, it doesn't have a lot of spices in it. They're very, very clean flavors, and I like clean flavors when I make Indian food. That's the basic difference. Try to add your coriander powder, your turmeric, your salt, and your chili in the beginning. That's fine when you're making the sauce, but always remember to add garam masala towards the end, okay?
Okay.
If you have any questions, ask away now. I'm right here while we're waiting for our rice to be done. No questions, huh?
Your chicken, how's the taste of the chicken masala?
Yeah, tell me how it tastes. If it's done, give me a thumbs up if you like it. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like it.
We had just now Loba has to go early. She said it was a great session again, like always, Payal. The chicken tastes fantastic.
Awesome. And I still see some people are still cooking. There are lots of people who I can't see at all. Their screens are off. People, come online. I want to see your faces, just as you can see mine.
I agree, Payal. I want to see your face too.
Even if you're not cooking, it's fine.
Yes.
Not a crime to not cook.
Yay, oh, with a glass of wine.
See, that's what we need. We need a glass of wine. It's okay not to cook.
Yes.
Just come and watch.
Yes, we can do a watch party together.
Yeah. So Irene Tan was very curious to join the class. She registered like 7 or 8 times. Irene, show me your face. I want to see who you are. She doesn't want to come online there. All right, I see lots of thumbs up.
Hi.
That's good. There she is. There she is. Welcome.
Thanks for switching on your camera. We should take a good picture later.
Yeah, totally.
With your dish or just your face with your glass of wine.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
So while we're waiting, maybe we can talk about a few other things that you can serve with the rice and, make this a complete meal for your guests if you want to, serve a proper Indian, Middle Eastern fusion meal to your guests. So you've got your pilaf, you've got your chicken curry. You can add a couple of things and make this a complete meal. You can add a raita dish. A raita is basically yogurt with a fruit or a vegetable in it. So you could do chopped up pineapple with yogurt, salt, and some cumin seeds in it, ground cumin powder, basically. You could do a raita with chopped up cucumbers. So cucumber, yogurt, salt, and cumin powder. And I think I have a raita recipe on my website too, if you want to go have a look. Or you could simply serve it with plain yogurt. Plain yogurt works really well.
Yeah. I like yogurt with rice.
The curry is too spicy.
Mm.
Then another thing that you can find very easily in all supermarkets is papadums. You can get raw papadums very easily in Singapore. Have you guys ever used them? If you know how to use papadum already, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down and I'll tell you how to use them. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to use them. All right, let me grab some. Since we have time and we're waiting, it makes sense. All right, so this is a larger variety that I got from Mustafa, but you don't have to go all the way to Mustafa to buy papadums. These are raw papadums, and papadums are actually gluten-free. So if you're on a gluten-free diet, you can totally buy them. If you have celiac disease, they're not labeled gluten-free, so be careful. If you don't mind contamination, these are actually made from lentils, and they've got some cumin in there too. And these are masala papadums, and I got them from Mustafa. They are also available on Red Marts. You can get plain papadums, which are made from white lentils or black lentils at fair price in the dried food section, and they're very, very easy to make. All you have to do is get a frying pan and simply toast them on both sides. And I can show you how to do that. Shall we do that, Xinyang, since we have time?
Yes, sure.
Yeah?
Yes, let's do that.
I think
Always
my
have to learn new
headphones stopped
something.
working, so I'm just going to put the volume up on this because I can't hear you anymore.
Yes, I think we
Okay.
yeah, we lost the
Yeah.
sound a little bit. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, hold on. Connection problem. Or maybe I'll just increase the volume here.
We're just trying to get Payal's audio back. So she's going to show us how to use the hard papadum. That sounds really
I'm trying to connect my AirPods again.
okay. In the meantime, we're waiting. I'm sure you can start to, if you are cooking, yeah, the chicken most probably is ready. Those of you watching, you had your dinner.
Okay, we're going to move on to my, I can't hear you, but we'll move on to my stovetop and we'll start making some papadums to show you.
Okay.
And we'll figure out why this is not working. Can I just use yours in the meantime? Yours are charged. Just give me a moment, guys. Technical problems. What can I say? Grandma.
No problem. It's time
Grandma.
for us to.
Grandma's technical problems.
It always happens.
Here. Here. Okay. Let's see if I can hear you now.
We have 30, yeah, still 30 people online. This is great.
Okay, I can hear you now. Yay. All right.
And it's back
So
on.
we're gonna move on to my stovetop again, and I will show you now how to make papadums since we have a little bit of time. Okay. So let's just check on the rice to make sure it's not burning or anything.
Wow.
It is almost ready. Check your rice, guys, because mine looks almost ready. See, it's already dry, the rice, as you can see. Okay, and it's starting to stick at the bottom, which means it's almost done. I'm going to turn the heat off now. I'll cover it again. Turn the heat off, and I'm going to set it aside for 5 to 10 minutes and let it rest in its own steam. Okay. So do that.
Yeah, so if you don't see any water at the bottom of the pot, it's ready.
Yeah, that means it's cooked and it's ready.
Yep.
Yeah, there should be no water left in there. I have a pan right here. This is a heavy base pancake pan that I use, a crepe pan that I'm using. But you don't have to get one of these. Instead, you could just use any frying pan of your choice, okay? Make it nice and hot on high heat. Start with high heat. Give it a couple of minutes. Let it heat up. And once it's hot, you're going to get your papadums over and you're going to start placing them on there. This is quite a big one, so I'm just going to leave maybe one on there. I can fit 2, so just leave 2 on there. And this doesn't take long if your pan is hot. It takes about 2 minutes or so. They start to blister and change color. In most restaurants, in most Indian restaurants, you'll see them fried. So they expand a lot when they are deep fried, and not a very healthy way of eating them. Then they can very well just be roasted, dry roasted on a pan. See how they're starting to blister already? Can you see them changing color?
Yes.
Now flip. Don't use your fingers like I am. Use a spatula.
Not advisory for unsupervised.
Okay, pretty easy there. Okay, for those of you who love Indian food and Southeast Asian cooking and Middle Eastern cooking, we've got 3 classes coming up in August at Commune Kitchen. We have a fabulous Middle Eastern class coming up, lamb tagine, beginning of August. We've got a chicken tikka masala class coming up with dal, not the same as today. Chicken tikka masala is very British and it's a beautiful curry. And then we've got one more class coming up that's Thai cooking, also middle of August. So do check it out if you're interested in attending. Okay, these are almost ready. I've reduced the heat slightly so they don't burn. Okay, they're starting to smoke and brown, as you can see. And these are done.
Thank you, Masami, for saying hi.
That's
She's
done.
not,
I am going to
Mali.
take these. Let's just take these off. And again, very easy to find all over Singapore, and this is done.
Nice.
So easy to make as well. Okay,
It's
let's.
easy.
So you've got both of them ready. You've got your rice ready, which you can serve. You've got your chicken ready that you can serve. I think we are at the end of the session. I won't be laying it out yet because my family is not ready for dinner yet. So I'll keep it warm. But let's say our goodbyes so you guys can start eating without delay.
Great. Can we see? Yeah, does anyone want to show the chicken masala and the rice they cooked? It would be great to see.
Is everyone's rice done? Yes? Not yet? I see
Just feel free
James.
to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, guys. That looks good. I can see someone serving already, which is great. Awesome, guys. Well done. So get ready to serve and enjoy your dinner. And let me know if you have any questions. That looks beautiful, Suzanne. Awesome. Well done, you. I see James is still waiting for the rice to be done, is it? Little bit. Okay. All right. Should be done soon, though. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. If there's anything else Xinyang needs to add, she will do so now. I will see you next month, the third Wednesday of next month, for another cooking class, for another online class. Hope you all can join us again. And in the meantime, if you wish to come and see me at one of our physical lessons, please do. You've got the recipe links already. Feel free to browse through the website and have a look at other recipes too. And let us know anytime if you have any questions. Thank you for joining and enjoy your dinner.
Thanks. And next time, challenge for you who are here is bring a friend along. Bring a friend to cook together. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, because we love sharing good food and good cooking. Thank you so much, Payal. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Xinyang and Gabby.